We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us.
The situation surrounding the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie is complex, and when examined carefully, it reveals multiple layers that do not align neatly with a traditional kidnapping narrative. A closer analysis of the physical evidence, the timeline, and the ransom communication pattern suggests that something more complicated may be unfolding beneath the surface. First, consider the crime scene itself. Reports indicate signs of forced entry. Security systems were manually disabled. The doorbell camera was not merely turned off, it was physically removed. At the same time, the home's cloud storage subscription had expired weeks earlier, meaning cameras may have recorded nothing retrievable. This detail is striking. It suggests forethought. Someone either knew the storage was inactive or took advantage of that vulnerability. Inside the home, there were small droplets of blood confirmed to belong to Nancy. Not a violent scene, not large pools, just enough to suggest resistance or injury during movement. Her purse remained inside. Her keys remained. Her phone was untouched. Her Apple Watch was charging. Daily heart medication, essential for her stability, was left in place. These details matter. If this were a robbery, valuables would likely be missing. Jewelry, electronics, cash. None were reportedly taken. The house was not ransacked. Nothing appears hastily overturned. That weakens the robbery theory significantly. If this were a voluntary disappearance, essential items would likely have been taken. They were not. The timeline introduces an even deeper concern. At 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera was disconnected. At 2:28 a.m., Nancy's pacemaker application lost connection to her phone, something that only occurs when she is physically more than about 30 feet away. That leaves a 41-minute window inside the house. 41 minutes is the central anomaly in this case. In most documented ransom kidnappings, speed is critical. The objective is rapid control and immediate exit to reduce exposure risk. Removing an 84-year-old woman with limited mobility would not logically require 41 minutes unless something else was occurring. That duration suggests one of several possibilities. Searching for something specific. Waiting for something. A confrontation that altered the plan. A situation escalating beyond initial intent. 41 minutes implies presence. It implies activity. It does not suggest panic or randomness. Now consider the ransom communication pattern. The first ransom demand was reportedly sent not to the family and not directly to law enforcement, but to TMZ. Similar messages later reached local Tucson news outlets including KWLD News 13 and KGUN 9. This deviation is significant. In traditional ransom scenarios, kidnappers initiate direct contact with the family to establish leverage and negotiation channels. Communication is typically structured to allow back-and-forth exchanges. Proof of life is provided. Pressure escalates as deadlines approach. Here, the sender reportedly refused negotiation. There was no two-way communication channel. Deadlines passed without consequence. No confirmed proof of life was provided. This behavior does not align neatly with financially motivated ransom crimes. Financial criminals generally require compliance and therefore create systems to receive it. A refusal to communicate undermines the goal of collecting money. Additionally, the ransom messages reference non-public details, such as the absence of her Apple Watch and a damaged floodlight, suggesting insider knowledge. That raises two possibilities. Either the sender was physically present at the scene or had direct access to someone who was. Another dimension of the case is public visibility. Nancy herself was not a public figure. However, her daughter, Savannah Guthrie, is nationally recognized. When the story broke, media attention intensified rapidly. By contacting news organizations first, the sender guaranteed public amplification. That choice raises a psychological question. Was money truly the primary motive, or was attention part of the objective? Profilers often examine whether behavior reflects instrumental motivation, financial gain, or expressive motivation, message-driven, grievance-driven, attention-seeking. In this case, the structure of communication, calm, detailed, media-directed, leans toward expressive elements. Law enforcement involvement escalated quickly, including assistance from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Publicly, authorities have used the term targeted, implying the act was not random. If targeted, the next question becomes, who is the intended target? Nancy, or someone connected to her? Two primary working theories tend to emerge from behavioral analysis. The first is a planned ransom kidnapping. Under this theory, perpetrators intentionally disabled security, abducted Nancy, and structured ransom communications with insider details to prove authenticity. However, inconsistencies remain, particularly the refusal to negotiate and the absence of escalating pressure tactics. The second theory is more uncomfortable. It suggests the initial entry into the home may have been for a different purpose, possibly searching for documents or information. If Nancy awakened during the intrusion, the situation may have escalated unexpectedly. In that scenario, the removal of Nancy could have become a reactive decision rather than the original plan. The ransom narrative would then function as a constructed cover to control public perception. While this remains speculative, it aligns more closely with the 41-minute window and the absence of theft. It is important to emphasize that these are analytical frameworks, not conclusions. Investigations require verified evidence, not inference. Yet, behavioral patterns often provide early directional signals. Another complicating factor in this case has been public interference. A man later identified as Derek Keller was arrested for sending fraudulent ransom messages to the family, attempting to exploit the situation. Authorities confirmed he was not involved in the abduction. Such hoaxes can drain investigative resources and muddy behavioral assessments. At its core, the case continues to orbit the same unresolved question: what occurred inside the house during those 41 minutes? Everything else, the Bitcoin demand, the van sightings, the media involvement, may be secondary to that window of time. Until that period is fully reconstructed through forensic evidence, digital data, and witness accounts, the broader narrative will remain unstable. If the crime was financially motivated, the behavioral pattern is unconventional. If it was expressive or grievance-driven, the public-facing ransom may serve as messaging rather than negotiation. For now, investigators continue to follow leads, analyze communications, and reconstruct timelines. The disappearance of Nancy Guthrie is not simply about an abduction claim. It is about inconsistencies between behavior and motive. And in criminal analysis, when behavior and motive do not align, that gap often contains the truth.